Welcome to Retirement Ramblings. I'm Scott, and today is day 85 on my countdown to retirement, plus a quick catch up for yesterday, day 86. So, yesterday, day 86, I went for my annual skin cancer screening and ended up having to have a biopsy done of a growth on my back, get the results back in 1 to 2 weeks. And then I also asked them to remove two skin tags that I had that were caused by my type 2 diabetes. So skin tags basically grow from excess sugar in your blood. And anyway, so the doctor was happy though with all the basics, review of my skin conditions, rosacea, and all the other stuff that I had. So as long as the biopsy comes back okay, I shouldn't have to go in again for another year. So set up my appointment for next October. Then I went out with my wife to lunch at Olive Garden, and then my TV wall mount, the long arm TV mount, came in, and so I decided I was going to install that. And what an ordeal that became. To try and center it on the wall, the studs that are in my wall are set so that literally there's a stud directly centered of a fireplace, which is great. But then the rest of the studs are all 16 inches on center. So if you actually try and then mount the bracket centered on the fireplace, you can't actually put the lag bolts into studs. Like they're just not lined up properly. So inside my wall, I happen to have a 4x4 hole that has a wire management guide that goes through the hole down behind the fireplace and then comes out on the side. So you can hide all the wires if you're going to mount a TV up on the wall. So that was great. Except that, like I said, the studs weren't lined up right. So what I ended up having to do, because you need to be able to go for the weight of the TV, you need to be able to go 3 inches into studs. And so I had the center stud, so that was fine, but I didn't have the studs on the outside corners to hold up the weight. So what I ended up doing was I found where they put in a 2x12 header going across about 3 inches above where I really wanted to mount the bracket, but at least I could go through a 2x12. I could get into one 2x4, the 3 inches that I needed. So what I ended up doing was taking a small 2x4, about, I don't know, maybe 8-10 inches in size, putting it through the 4x4 hole that has the track in it, holding that with my hand inside, taking 2 drywall screws, screwing above and below just to hold it in place, then drilling a 3-inch pilot hole into the middle of the 2x4 through the drywall, and then lag bolting it in that position, so that I ended up getting basically 5 lag bolts across the top, one in the bottom middle and one on the far right, to be able to grab onto the wall to be able to support the weight of the TV. Now the TV isn't that heavy, it's like 40 pounds. The issue is I wanted a 30-inch extended arm so that when the TV's centered and I want to then watch it in one room, not just our living room, but if I want to watch it in our dining room or our sunroom, I can pivot the TV 90 degrees. So the arm it'll come off the wall 30 degrees and then rotate. Since it's a 65-inch TV, it gives me just enough to rotate it 90 degrees one way or rotate it 90 degrees the other way. And then I can watch it from 3 different rooms with one TV. So anyway, when it's 30 inches off the wall and then you've got the 40 pounds pulling down on the wall, you need to have it firmly locked in place. So anyway, I ended up mounting it, getting the bracket on. Once I got that on the wall positioned where I want, actually putting the TV up on the bracket, finishing that, leveling it, putting the angle that I wanted, because I wanted a 13 to 15 degree down angle, so there was no reflection from light, and it was basically, if you're sitting on a couch looking up at it, you have a straight on effective view. That took like, I don't know, 15 minutes. It took me a couple of hours though to get the bracket mounted where I was comfortable that I could support the weight. Once that was up, I basically just connected up the over-the-air antenna, made sure everything could come in. I ended up being able to pull in 68 digital channels, so that was great. So I got it into the basic position. Made snow crab for dinner, and that was my day. Then today, day 85, after my meetings, I completed the installation of the TV over the fireplace. I used an old fishing weight, dropped it down through the cable tray that's in the wall, tied on what do you call it? I tied on both an electrical wire as well as a cable wire that I made for an extension, pulled that up through the track so that I wouldn't have any wires below the TV hanging down. Everything would route through the wall. So I did that. Then I took a plate that was a solid 4x4 plate. I used an inch and a half door or whatever circular drill bit. Cut an inch and a half hole in that so that I could then feed the wires through and they would come out the opposite side. And then I leveled and angled the TV, and everything seemed to be fine. So I was really happy with that and the way it came out. All right, so then I sat down and put together my weekly shopping list. Then we went out for Chinese for lunch. And then, because it was Amazon Prime days, I ordered 2 Amazon Fire Sticks, the HD Fire Sticks, to use in my existing TVs to integrate with Sling, along with my wife wanted this purse and bag. And so I got that, some milk thistle, and 8 mil non-latex nitrile gloves that I use for working on my truck, or if I'm handling, let's say, chicken or something, and it's going to be a lot of it, I'll wear the gloves. And also, like, I don't know, coloring my wife's hair, highlighting and stuff like that. Then I updated my sell order on Oracle to see if I can, again, get a certain, lock in a certain gain there. And then late afternoon, I signed up for Sling Blue plus the News Extra Blue feature. It's going to end up costing me $51.99 a month plus tax. They're running a promo, so the first month was $29. So I paid the $29, and then they'll bill me, a month from today, starting at $51.99 from that point forward. So got Sling all put on. I made sure everything was on the TV right. Got Sling account set up. Scanned the local channels in Sling to integrate my over-the-air channels into the Sling guide. They showed up. I was like, oh, this is awesome, right? Exactly what I expected. Then I went to the channel, and my wife wanted me to set up recording for a specific show that airs on ABC called High Potential. So I found the show. I go to record it, and Sling's like, it's not part of your package. And I'm like, no kidding, you don't provide ABC. That's one of the reasons why I have over-the-air channels that's now in your guide. Well, come to find out that when the announcement came out that Sling and Vizio had integrated tightly together for the local channels, I, like an idiot, thought that they actually would provide all the Sling functionality for the integrated channels. Oh no. You have to go spend another $75 and go buy an AirTV 2 external DVR recorder for the local channels. And then Sling will say, oh, here it's in the guide. I know now that you have a DVR over here that's connected to it. I'll save your local channel to the DVR, and all the stuff that you have a subscription through our service we'll store in the cloud, but we'll let you have a singular interface that can access either one of them. Well, I don't really want to do that. So many years ago, in a prior house that I had installed an over-the-air antenna up in my attic, upside down. But I then wired my whole house for over-the-air signals, and I bought a TiVo Romeo over-the-air 1 terabyte recorder. And I used to record all of the over-the-air channels that way. Well, I moved to the house I'm in now. We have DirecTV. I think I tried using it once or twice when we first moved in here, and we ended up not using it. So it hadn't been powered on since September of 2021. So after finding out that I would have to go buy this other product, I'm like, well, I already have an over-the-air recorder. Maybe I can make that work. So I powered it up, hooked it up to the TV, powered it up, went through to see if that my account was still active and all that stuff. Because again, it's been 4 years since I've touched the thing. It is, and so I started the download of the most current guide. It finished the download, and now it's in the process of installing. So while I'm talking to you, it's installing, and I'm going to figure out whether or not it will work or not. And hopefully it will. And then what I'll end up doing is just having while it's not as convenient or integrated, I'll record all the shows that we want to watch on the over-the-air stuff. It has a dual tuner, so I can do 2 over-the-air channels at once, and then I'll basically play back, directly from the TiVo unit through the TV for any of the stuff we record that's over the air, and then I'll use Sling to play back whatever we might watch that's through the Sling service. The issue will be, 85% of everything we record is on those over-the-air channels. Like CNBC is going to be the only thing that I have that'll be recorded probably that comes through Sling. Everything else pretty much will be an ABC, NBC, CBS, or PBS program that we're recording. So, hopefully the TiVo Romeo will work. It's not an ideal solution, but it'll serve the purpose if I can make it happen. And again, I just feel kind of duped that I specifically bought a Vizio TV and signed up for Sling specifically because of the integration that they both claimed was happening between over-the-air antennas and their service. And the fact that it's in the guide, well, that's nice. But if you can't get all the other functionality that comes with the subscription service, it's kind of, a moot point. Like in my mind, why bother? Like if I'm going to have to, the only difference is I change from, having it all on HDMI 1 to HDMI 2. Like if I want to go watch, it on the TiVo. So anyway, that is my update for today and for yesterday. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section down below or drop me an email at myretirementramblings@gmail.com. Otherwise, I hope you have a great evening, and until tomorrow, take care.